Juice Crew family.
What up?
We are back. We are back for episode number
7. You know what it is.
7. My name is D-Lo, along with my co-host Ty and Landon, and we are the Juice Crew.
Yes, sir.
And today, guys, we have another special guest for you guys. Born and raised in Hillside, New Jersey, class of 2016 of St. Anthony's, valedictorian at St. Anthony's as well, VP of a Fight Against the Odds Foundation. Please welcome Shyquan Gibbs.
Yes,
what's up, Shy? How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me.
What's up? Of course, man.
Bro.
Appreciate you having me on. Appreciate you having me on, man. So let's dive right into it, man. I mean, you were born in Hillside, New Jersey. Talk to me. Tell me, what was it like growing up in Hillside, and when was it that you fell in love with the game of basketball, man? Talk about that.
I've been playing ball since I was maybe like 3 for real.
Yeah.
Which was a forever thing for real. I just grew up watching Kobe. My favorite player. I had an imaginary friend named Kobe, bro. He used to run around the house dribbling and shooting and stuff like that.
Damn. Cool.
It was deep like that, man. But yeah, just grew up in Hillside, just play ball, local kid. I would destroy the Hillside Rec.
I didn't even. What was in the Hillside Rec? Like,
Man.
I'm trying to what was the hoops like? Because I know I was like right around West Side Pro. So my runs, if I wanted to get some rec runs, I'm running in the Zay, staying there. Like Stephen Bush was one of my lived right around the corner. He went out west to play in the pro-ams a little bit, but it wasn't fun. Like it was dudes in there, bro. It was dudes in there.
Sure. Shoot, we had Kyle Lofton. He point guard for St. Bonaventures. He would be up, you know what I'm saying, out in the rec. We had a few dudes. Even Kyle's older brother, Ashton. He was that at the time. You know what I'm saying? He was that dude in Hillside for real. We had a few dudes, bro, for real.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. But all right, guys, we got a little bit of a background from Shy. Let's get into it. Let's get into our cheers, fellas.
Yes,
so
sir.
cheers to episode 7. We're gonna dive right into it, man.
Cheers, y'all.
Yes, sir.
So, we got to start at the beginning of the story. Got to start at the beginning. So, I know you and Ty have some history on the Faces days.
Yes,
I heard you guys had the crazy roster. Can you just dive into that? Talk to me about the Faces days.
Man, so connecting the Hillside Rec thing to it, so I was the man in Hillside. I'm like, man, basketball life. I'm like, all right, cool. My dad I got something for you. You ready to go with the Faces? Had no idea what that was at the time. I run dudes. I walk in the gym. The guys like, I'm saying, RJ Cole starting point guard for UConn. You got Temple Gibbs. He a pro. Bryce Aiken. He starting point guard for Seton Hall. We got some other dudes. Austin Goodluck. Ray Montes. All them were there.
Yes, sir.
So we there. Ty there. I'm like,
BA.
I'm like, BA. Yeah. I'm like, this a different world. Like,
That sounds like a loaded squad. That sounds like a loaded squad.
I'm like, man, this kind of different. This ain't Hillside no more. You feel me? So as a kid, it kind of like, all right, maybe I should just go back to Hillside and just go like Listen, luckily I came to my senses. Was like, nah, this is where I need to be if I want to really do something with basketball. You know what I mean?
So you have just like this idea of just like that iron sharpening iron. Just explain what that did to your game. So making that decision. Just
man, I walked in there. I remember, I'll never forget this. RJ like, man, you suck. RJ like a year and a half younger than me.
Well, hold on. Watch how you talk to your senior. I'll bust your ass right now.
So I'll never get that. I'm like, dang, like, I really got to get better for real. Like, you feel me? So, and then after that, just been like, you know how the Baylor had like guard you? That's how it felt. The guards in there. So we just got to it, and every day, we just be in there making each other better.
Louisiana Spencer, I'll never forget that gym, bro. That was our practice gym. But like that point, like that iron sharpening iron, I feel like that's like a key point of like Faces for me, because I know like, and this is like kind of a backstory. We had like the national championship, and in 8U, 7U, the kids we don't have no control. It's really like the parents dictating everything. So it's like, it was nothing like, and I feel like that's why I kind of felt bad for like me and MJ, because it was like we just happened to be in the middle of a situation that wasn't even for us. We just wanted to hoop. Like we cool with everybody on the team, but then I felt like, after I left, I think that was like 9 or 10U I left. Like, yeah, me and MJ ended up being the man at playtime, but like we ain't have that kind of like competitiveness. Like I was pretty much, I'm starting every game, like, and there ain't no debating that. Like, whereas Faces, like, I feel like if I was able to stick there, like, it would have just been going at it and like getting better every day. So I'm like, I appreciate that you brought up that point, because that's what I thought about every time. I'm like, what if I stayed? Like, what would have been like? Just going up against that every day.
Listening to that team too. I mean, you guys had a full. Like, it wasn't a fully D1 team, but you guys had a full collegiate squad. Like, I don't think people realize, like, how difficult that is to have a full collegiate AAU pro. Like, that's crazy. Like, you're down to your 9th, 10th guy. Like, they're playing college basketball. Like, somewhere. Whether it don't matter where it is. If you can play college basketball, you're built a little bit different than most of the rest. Because not a high percentage of players, get that chance to play at that next level,
100%.
So, I mean, like I was saying, iron sharpens iron. I'm sure talk about some of those practices were like, man, I'm sure you got some stories, man. There was some wars going on.
A whole bunch. Like, even leading up to college, like, it got even worse at St. Anthony for me.
Oh, man. I'm sure. Trust me. Look, we got some. Oh, man.
We're going to get into St. Anthony.
Y'all want to talk about a squad? His St. Anthony squad was ridiculous, man. Yeah. Oh, my God. A lot of those games. Yeah, that squad was ridiculous. One of the best high school squads I think I've ever. Definitely one of the best high school squads I've ever played against. Yeah. I don't know about y'all. That's definitely one of the best high school
I used to get tight. It was a summer league, Hamilton Park, that, like, in Jersey City. And, like, St. Anne's, like, everybody be on nationals. They'll be, like, on the circuit all summer. Like, they sending their JV team out there still kicking niggas' ass with, like, 20 points. And I'm like, damn. Then playoffs hit. Shy, RJ, everybody come home for playoffs.
We had the time to pull up only when it mattered.
They all pulled out the full crew and just continue what they was doing on the circuit.
All right, man. So we'll take it to St. Anthony's then. You're at St. Anthony's, Let's talk a little bit about that commute from Hillside to St. Anne's. I know it's not probably the easiest commute. What was that like? Talk about some of those early. I know you probably woke up some early mornings trying to get down there. So tell me a little bit about the commute to St. Anne's.
School started at 8:20, bro. I'm up at 6 just because the traffic is crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Going toward New York alone in Jersey City, right toward the bridge, right where St. Anthony at.
Yeah.
So we get up at 6 in the morning. My dudes come, knock on the door. It's time. I'm like, golly. Then you gotta go to school all day. Right after school, you got study hall for an hour. Coach Hurley was not playing that. Study hall right after school. We're right to it. All right, cool. Right after that, you might have to lift. Right after lift, we go to practice. So it really was like college. Already, like, you know what I'm saying? So
I was gonna say, it sounded like a college atmosphere. So do you credit, Coach Hurley for, I guess, getting you mentally prepared for college for sure?
For sure. Especially physically ready too. Like my senior year, we lifted like 2-3 times a week. Like my senior year, I started to fill out a little more. I felt stronger. Like you said, we played against other teams. I'm like, all right, I feel the difference now.
Yeah.
And then that was a major difference. The years prior, when we kept losing to Roselle, they were just physically stronger than us. Like, Isaiah Briscoe was a man for real. He was a strong dude for real. Chris Silva, Matt Bullock, they was.
Oh yeah, remember
Even Tahir Pretlow, he was a stocky dude. They had some size for real. So going into my senior year, like, we got a new strength coach, and he kind of changed it for real.
Right. I don't think high school coaches get enough credit for that, honestly. Getting their high school players prepared for the college game. That's a huge, for those who want to go on to the next level, that is part of their job. Building those study habits when you were in high school already, showing you how giving you a broad brush of how college is going to be, because it's not easy. Exactly. It makes that transition a whole lot easier. I know. Did you guys, how was your transition for either of you guys? I want you guys to talk about it too.
I think, and to that point, I feel like high school coaches, they have to, get out of the mind, they have to really get out of position, putting players in positions too. And I feel like that's something that changed for them. You see a dude that's 6'5" or 6'3", make him the center. When you've been in those ages, he don't grow no more. You a guard, so you need guard skills. But no, I think that's kind of important. I know that we had a coaching change our senior year, and you could kind of see the difference. And there's no disrespect to our old coach, but it was much different getting ready, practices and study hall was always a thing now. So transitioning coaches. So I think it wasn't an element of being able to hit the books and do that. And then also what are you doing in practice? So I started to feel like my practices had a lot more purpose when we kind of made that coaching change.
100%. And just to build on Ty's point, I felt like we just had a culture. And just prior to that point, it just kind of felt like, we were 15 dudes just, hooping together. But that senior year, we had a culture. Everybody bought in. Right. Everybody was on the same page, and we had accountability with it too. I think a lot of these high school coaches, especially ones who have the favoritism with their favorite players. They giving them the ultimate green bean look. Shoot whenever you want. I ain't gonna get mad at you. You don't gotta play no defense.
Right.
And then when you go to college and you don't have that coach who thinks you're his favorite, now you're wondering, hey, why is coach on my case all the time? Why keep yelling at me? So I think definitely you need to have that structure and accountability.
Yeah, I can definitely say personally for me, I mean, my high school experience, I think my coach really just helped me, further along my basketball IQ. Yeah, I think I started to look at the game differently when I was in high school. Learn like just from simple stuff. So simple. From like I'll even give this as a specific example. Like the screen. He always used to say the screener is always open. Like the dude who screens, whoever sets the screen will always be open most of the time. Like that was one thing I took into college. Like I still take it to the courts now. I'll set a screen. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be open. Like, whether it's a slip or I'm gonna pop out open. Like yo, if you set a good solid screen, bro, 90% of the time you're gonna be open. Like so, just I think that's just a huge part of the high school nature and high school coaches. I mean, I saw Bob Hurley from afar. You could tell he cares.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you could tell he cares about his players for sure. Is there anything else you kind of want to speak on Hurley? Any other impact he may have had on you guys? Any life lessons that he may give you? I'm sure you got a book on Hurley, man.
He never cut anybody from the team.
Really?
Wow. It didn't matter. He never cut anybody.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing. He never cut anybody.
Wow.
Unless you was doing something crazy
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
But that man changed a lot of lives, bro.
Yeah.
And a lot of people see the yelling, they see the barking, and like, man, he's out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually around him all the time, you see him how he is with his family, his kids, his grandkids, his wife.
Right.
You're like, yeah, that man really cares.
Right.
He really cares for sure. And he was different, like mentally. Basketball, different. Bro, we were in high school. We talking about we gonna like watch film. Like we could watch films from our practices, the games. Like we watching film. So I'm saying before we play y'all, we watching the film. We got to break down to every player.
Yeah.
So that's like some college level stuff for real.
That's what you see the next level.
When you say that, I can tell you. I can tell you. You're a good guy, bro. I never, to start off, never beat St. Anthony's in my career. Never. Not in no summer league. Not in no regular season game. Nothing. I'm never beating St. Anthony's.
I don't feel too bad. That guy, you're the only team out there who fell in.
Guys, when I tell you stepping on the court, especially with y'all 2016 squad, our senior year, man,
talk about
that squad was different. I mean, like we can talk about. Hey, let's talk about it.
Hold on. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Just before we get into that, being top of your class, waking up at 6, even though school really starts at 8:30. Practicing for Hurley, he's barking at you. You got to watch film, this, that, and third, lifting. How did you manage to still be top of your class in school, regardless of what were all the obstacles?
So, man, that started early for real, like with Coach Cole, back in the Faces days. Coach Cole wasn't playing you if your grades weren't right. And then I also got to credit my parents because they would be on top.
I was about to say, Shyquan, I'm not playing that.
Mom, these pops, they not playing that, bro. Like, stay on top of your books. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And then also, once you get in that mode that one day basketball ain't gonna be basketball.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? You're going one day we're gonna be 40. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come. It's gonna happen. 100%. You ain't gonna be hooping all the way our whole lives. So at that point, education gonna be what separates you and how you progress in life.
100%.
Speaking on your parents too, I mean, it sounds like they had a huge, influence on your life. I saw that your dad is actually in the Hall of Fame over at St. Peter's. Yeah. He was coaching down at Henry Snyder High School. So how influential was your dad when it came to playing, basketball at the next level?
Yeah, man. So my dad, like, he really don't say too much off the court. Like, you talk to him all the time. Like, he ain't really don't say too much. But like on them days when I'll be having them days, like we all have them days, we all human beings.
Of course.
Like my dad would be the only person I know that could talk to me and like I feel confident the next day. Like I'm gonna go get 40. Like that's how he makes me feel for real. And he wouldn't even say too much, but he'd be like, Pops, you got that.
Yeah. Something about that connection.
Exactly. Yeah. Something about the words he would say that is powerful. Like he don't say too much, but when he did, like it always impacted me in that kind of way for real.
Now, was he coaching high school when you were in high school as well?
Yeah.
All right.
I played against him.
Oh my God. You gotta talk to me about that too. But real quick too. Like, did you ever? I know obviously Coach Hurley is you can't go wrong going to St. Anthony's Coach Hurley. But did you ever have any thoughts of like, oh, man, let me come over here and play for my pops real quick. You know, I could probably kill. I'll probably kill everybody in this league right now.
Like gonna be good.
Yeah, the green light gonna be league. I'm playing with my pops. Do those thoughts ever creep in your head?
100%, man. Like, play for my dad. I watch my dad play. He always let his star players rock. You feel me?
I'm like Coach Hurley. Coach Hurley, like, yo, share the fucking ball, bro.
That system, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody eat. That's how
Everybody
it is.
eat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I knew being under Coach Hurley and being with the players that I played with at St. Anthony, I knew that would be the better route for me.
Yeah. And kind of what made you? Because I know you're probably looking at St. Anne's like, I'm going to a team of loaded team. Like, did you ever think about like how are you going to differentiate yourself? Like, how are you going to still like you clearly still went to D1, so you did something. But what was your mindset going into that atmosphere? Like, I know there was some competitive juices in there a little bit too with all that talent around. But what was your thought process going in there? Like, how am I differentiate myself and still get success? Because I know I'm not going to be with this team in college. Like, I got to go do something for me for college.
For sure. So, like, even before I got into St. Anthony, I'm watching teams. They got Miles Mack, Kyle Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, sheesh. I'm at a game where they playing DeMatha, and Miles outscored DeMatha by himself.
Miles was
Miles was that guy. Like, I'm like, golly. Then the next year he leave, KA still there. And y'all know KA. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know KA. So then even the classes before that, I had Terrence Smith and Chetty Mosley in front of me.
Right.
Shaq McFarland, Josh Brown, Hallis Cook. Like, those are the guards ahead of me. Like, so those dudes I'm looking at, I've been playing under them for years. Like, I go to St. Anne's camp, they all the coaches and stuff. So kind of just got some insight through that and kind of just use that as motivation. Like, I already know I'm going in with guys that can hoop, put the ball in the basket. Like, everybody can do that. But my role came my senior year, 3-and-D kind of guy. That was kind of my niche. That's where I found my spot at.
Right.
I'm going to go to the best players. I'm going to make over shots. I'm going to make plays when I can. Be a basketball player.
Right.
So just hoop. Exactly. That was my niche. So I stuck to it, and it got me somewhere.
That shows your maturity, honestly. To me, that shows, because a lot of the high school kids can't buy into their role a lot of times. I feel like a lot of kids, everybody wants to be the star, everybody wants to have the glitz and glamour and stuff like that. But what can you do for our team to help us win?
Exactly.
Can you buy into the role that the coaches assign you at the end of the day? And it sounds like you bought into your role, and look, it worked. Like, you guys were undefeated. Like, that doesn't happen too often. Like, there's not many high school teams that can say, yo, we ran the table. Yeah. We completely ran the table. We ran TOC, no losses. I mean, and it just, you could tell just by the way you speak from your maturity and things, the way you buy into your role. And I'm sure the rest of your squad was bought into their role as well. So that's just great insight to see, like, how you guys were able to come together and actually have that undefeated season.
Exactly, and be rewarded for buying in. Like you said, you got to play Division I ball. You got the undefeated season. You got you got the rings. I know we don't. We're gonna ask you how that felt like, because we don't. So I guess we didn't do enough buying in with our squad. but yeah, like, some, especially like these newer kids, they'll see Steph Curry, shooting all, everybody wants to shoot the half-court threes. I get it. I shoot them occasionally too. I get it. But the 3-and-D dudes, they still get paid. Like, if you
big paid now.
master your role, you perfect it at what you do and realize what you're good at and just full-fledged focus on that, you could still be rewarded. It doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
So,
right.
That's up to you for that.
Yeah, and like kind of finishing off like at like the whole St. Anne's. Now you going into NJIT, it's getting ready for college. You've already kind of prepared, but I know it still was real different. What was like you feel like that big like I'm in college basketball now? Like
welcome to college.
Real talk, man. My senior year helped a lot because I'm in practice. I gotta go against RJ every day. I gotta go against Jake every day. And then we had Javarte's and Asante against. Gotta go against them every day. Like them 2 days came off our bench, bro. Yeah. Asante in the NBA G League. Yeah. And Javar's overseas as a pro.
Asante was
that's
nice.
That's crazy.
So I'm going against them every day, like, and it was real, like, you know what I'm saying? Coach Hurley wasn't letting no slack. So like we was going at it every day for real. Like Asante came in day one, like as soon as he transferred, he hacking everybody. Strong. So we, you know what I'm saying? It was just a good testament for when I got into college. Right. So my role when I got to college changed drastically now.
Primary ball handler.
I got to make all the decisions now. Before I was in the role, like I played point guard here and there. But like I said, my role for St. Anthony, I'm gonna guard the best defense. I'm gonna guard the best players.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna make open shots. Like, I make plays when I can.
Yep.
That was my role. Now everything changed.
Right. I mean, I think who was your coach over at NJIT, by the way?
Brian Kennedy.
Brian Kennedy. Okay. I mean, honestly, I think Brian probably had no worries if you fit into that role. I think he could see, but I'm sure he's had these conversations with Hurley. He was probably like is Shy a guy that will buy into his role no matter what. And I'm sure Hurley told him, hell yeah, this is the kid you want on your team. So when you went to NJIT, it probably was a smooth transition. Like he knew, he obviously watched you play. He knew where you were coming from. He knew you were coming from a bunch, you guys had a bunch of guards and stuff like that. So you didn't have to handle the ball as much as like that. So he put that on your plate like, hey, look, can you transition to this new role as a point guard? Can you, set everybody up? So I know Brian was probably like, bro, Shy gonna be able to do this, bro. There's no question. But talk about that adjustment period. I mean, what was that like? Did it take some time to kind of get used to it, especially now you're on the college stage, D1 level and stuff like that? Did it take a lot of time to get acclimated in your new role, or was it kind of a smooth transition, you would think?
So how I think about it, even when I played AAU in high school, I would be a primary ball handler.
Okay.
I was gonna score.
Right.
So that's what AAU is for. Get your numbers, get a college look.
Yup.
So but when I got to college, like they already had a senior leading team. Like they had 120 games a year before,
Right.
120 games a year before that. They brought back the same crew of dudes.
Yeah.
And luckily, I played with. I already knew one of them because one of them went to St. Anthony. Tim
Okay.
I played with Big Tim, Mo.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Mo was at St. Anthony, and then other guys were local from Hillside, so I knew them.
Okay.
Damon Lynn, Chris Jenkins, like I knew those guys already, so I kind of was comfortable. Like I know these guys, I played with some of them. Like it kind of just meshed real well. So my biggest adjustment was then becoming a playmaker for other people. Like Damon's a leading scorer in school history, over 2K. Like you saying, he's like top 5 in 3 points made in NCAA history.
And he would be pulling up there.
Yeah, for sure. Rightfully so.
That was the team that beat. I think they played Michigan.
Oh yeah,
I remember playing against a little bit for open runs and stuff like that. He used to pull up. Yeah, remember? He was a little dog that could shoot, bro.
Okay.
Bro,
Yeah.
yes. He was back, bro.
If you know, you know.
Rutgers North Faithful knows exactly who we talking about. We used to have some open gyms with NJIT. But yeah, go ahead.
Bunch of words, but just in your experience of just adjusting to a new role, getting familiar with a bunch of new guys. Are there any tips you can give to maybe incoming freshmen who are playing ball right now, like kind of how can they adjust maybe to their new roles and find success in what they're doing?
Well, the number one thing is everything not gonna come right away. Like a lot of freshmen, coming in young minded, you're like, I'm coming here and taking over. And it might not be like that right away.
Yeah.
For some guys, it turns out that way, but for other dudes, you gotta adjust, especially if you're going into a winning culture with winning guys. Like, imagine being a freshman going to UCLA.
Right.
And just winning the Final Four run. Like,
expectations.
Bringing back their best player.
Bringing back their best players and everything. Like, you're not walking in there about to be the man.
Right.
You can be a very good, solid piece, and then maybe eventually become the man the next year or the year after that.
Right.
100%.
But like, even I'm gonna give y'all a good example. JQ.
Yeah.
He went to Nova. A lot of people counted him out. Oh, he's not playing at Nova. This, and that. But if you actually watch basketball over the years, basketball. Jay Wright. A lot of Villanova point guards are molded 2-3 years into that spot.
Even what Colin doing now, when Colin came in, he wasn't
exactly
nominating off a
That's what I'm
AP,
saying.
preseason All-America. But
so now he figured in his own personal situation, I'm wasting my time. I might be wasting my time. That's probably how he felt. He goes to Bama and now he's flourishing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people count him out because they're like, oh, he's not playing at Nova. He might be overrated. He's not that good. It's not that. It's just the situation he was in.
Yeah.
So we changed the situation. He's still a good ball player. The kid can go. You know what I'm saying? He can go.
I believe they see like the Zions of the world and maybe the Cades, like they just come out the rip.
Exactly.
And it's like they 18 dominant. You almost expect that for like every
It's not like
highly
that for
recruit, but
I was gonna say I really think it's like the one and done culture now. Like everybody want to do the one and done, like get straight to the league, get paid, like, and so they just want to skip the steps. They want to like skip that like work or like maybe I'm not a one and done guy, but if I stay here for 2 or 3, that third year I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna have like a little bit better of a scouting report. So I think that's probably contributing to it too.
And my hat's off to JQ too. I mean, he didn't, he could have gotten his doghouse. He could have sat there and pouted about the whole situation, but he didn't. And he even came off the bench last year. But what he did was like you said, he embraced his role. He came off the bench and he killed. He had a moment in the NCAA tournament, and he already started off this year. I think he had 26, his career high already in his first game of the season this year. So I respect him a lot for that. He was able to get himself out. I know he had to sit out that middle year too when he transferred. Yeah, so he's been waiting for his time for a minute now, but it's finally here. You can tell he stayed in the gym, he stayed ready, and he's flourishing now. But what I want to ask you now is, so talking about situations, I know you said earlier that a lot of, you had a couple former teammates from St. Anthony that went to NJIT, a couple Hillside dudes. Was that like a big contributing factor in you going to NJIT, or was it, was it academic? What was that big, huge factor that you chose NJIT?
So that was actually a big factor to it. Like, even I'll never forget this. April 1st, April Fool's Day. The head coach that I committed to at NJIT was leaving. He left that day. He went to Columbia. He's coaching at Columbia now, Jim Ingles. First person that called me, Tim Coleman. I told you he just went to St. Anthony with me. He like, bro, you still coming, right?
He was like, damn, I already lost my coach. I need to make sure I get right here.
Still coming, right? I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm still coming. So like, I already had that kind of family feel. Right. And then the academics was just another big part of it. I would say NJIT's on par with an Ivy League school.
It is, yeah.
And I had a couple of Ivies looking at me, but the fact that Ivy Leagues don't get scholarships.
Yeah.
It's like I did all this work. My parents invested all this money into me. I want to pay for school too. Right. So like that was just my thought process behind it. Like, I owe my parents that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So if I could do that, I would do that for them. So NJIT was perfect. It was right around the corner from the crib.
My parents probably loved that too. They come to every game, every home game, right there. So that probably was perfect. One thing I want to kind of jump into a little bit is, like, I know you was at NJIT. You brought up RJ, Jagan as well. A lot of D1 people. And y'all and Simba, and so I want to kind of jump into that. Like, we gotta, what is the story behind Simba? What does it mean for all of the viewers out there? What does the acronym stand for? And then maybe talk to us about everybody in it. Like, maybe do a name drop. I know a lot of them, but I'm probably missing a couple.
I'll give you a quick rundown. Simba, it's a lot of us. I ain't gonna lie to you. So you got me, you got RJ Cole, you got Jacob Mosley, you got Ray Montelis, you got Ruben Montelis. You got Jair Bolden. You got Marcus McDuffie. You got my boy Mello from New York. Who else? Oh, you got James Scott.
Yeah, I was about to.
Noah Farrakhan. Like, it's a bunch of us for real. It kind of started in high school. We were kind of a lot of us went to high school together. Then we played AU together. So we all kind of just had this big group of Simba. And I we got like dots in between. I ain't gonna lie to you though. Nobody knows what Simba means but Simba.
We tried to get the exclusive out of it. Nobody knows.
I ain't gonna lie. Even my own mom asked me like, what Simba mean? I'd be like,
Mom, I tell you,
I don't know, bro. I can't. That's close files. I respect that. I respect that. Y'all ran deep, man. I remember y'all had the whole thing going throughout high school and stuff like that. I'm like, man, like, they tough too. Like, y'all was deep. Like, if you just think about the group, I'm like, damn, these are some of the best New Jersey players like out there at the time too. Like, these dudes we got to play against whether it's in my conference, playing against like Brandon Anderson over at Boston.
Even building on your point with, your group consisting of like elite talent guards. Sometimes you do compete. How do you kind of compete on the court? And then, when it's like at the crib, we chilling, we family, how do you kind of...
Sure.
I know they have some open gyms that probably used to be crazy too.
It's only simple runs or whatever.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. One day, now we think about it, one day, St. Anthony, we had a run. Coach Hurley bought KA back. He bought Ty back. He Brooklyn Nets point guard. He went to Kansas.
Oh, okay,
he brought a whole bunch of dudes. Like Hallis came back, so Josh. So we had a run with them. Oh man, the energy in there was different. Abe Baldwin had came too.
Oh man,
the energy in there was different, man.
And nobody wanted to lose.
Oh no, we just getting to it. Jerome Frank, he's a pro now. He's averaging double, like big dude. So he played on the team with Colin Anderson and Miles Mack when they went undefeated for the 2 years. But Yeah, just getting back to it, that kind of energy, that kind of just going back at it with a whole bunch of high level dudes, like you live for that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you live for that. That's why you play basketball, you know what I'm saying? To compete, to get better, to have bragging rights. Especially with the homies. You have bragging rights with the homies, you know what I'm saying? You in the crib, you joke about it. And, you know what I'm saying?
Was there any posters? Anybody get dropped in any of these runs?
No,
I'm like,
you know there was something happening
all
in
the
there.
time, man. Jagan, bro?
yeah.
Lucky there wasn't a camera probably in there.
That's a lot of dudes for real. Yeah. Dudes used to jump with Jagan, bro. Like,
Why?
high school, he's a man child. Like,
yo, Jagan Mosley was so big. Like, and I'm like, bro, just like, I remember we played y'all, I think this was a playoff game for Hamilton Park. And this is, playoff game, y'all decided we going to bring everybody. Throughout the regular season, you still going to lose to them. Don't get me wrong. They're not going to bring everybody in the regular season, but you still going to take your losses to them. But playoff game, now the whole squad on the tip-off, and I'm like, damn. It's gonna be a long day, bro. He's got like 5-6 inches on me, bro. Probably got I'd say probably 30, 35 pounds on me. And this is my matchup. I'm like, this is gonna be, bro, I'm like, this is gonna be a long day. So that's just going back to how tough that team was to play, man. I mean, oh my God. Like I said, one of the toughest teams I've ever played. I actually, what's funny too? I actually have a funny story. I actually went to elementary school for 1 year with your boy Caleb.
Word?
Yeah, it's funny. We went. He transferred over into Elmer Park, Gander Ave School, right by my crib, in my 5th grade year. And we got real cool. He was always pretty big. Like, obviously he wasn't, he grew to be I think he's 6'9" now, whatever. But he was always big then. And we got real cool that year. And then the next year, going into middle school, I'm hyped to see my boys, stuff like that. And then I'm like, looking around, I'm like, damn, where's Caleb? And I find out, he transferred, he's going, at this time there's no real, there was no social media or nothing, or no, cell phones, we weren't texting or nothing. So I didn't really know what happened. I didn't really know where he went. But, it was funny seeing him years later down, and he remembered me too. I was like, yo, Caleb. He was like, yo, what's up, Caleb? I'm like, oh shit, you still remember me. That was just cool and stuff like that. But, yeah, man. Oh, man, that was a funny story I had to bring up.
Yeah. We talk about a little bit about the importance of having that group of guys. Because I know, for us, we found that kind of in college when we, juice cruises more than the 3 of us. There was a bunch of us freshmen just kind of in Rutgers North did that. There's, the whole, Jelly Fam was obviously a thing. It seems like when you get, that group of guys that you're close with, it really helps, on the court, off the court. I talked about, how Simba, and you guys all being together has helped all of y'all kind of, flourish in your own lanes.
Yeah, man. So, just growing up, those are your guys.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Me and RJ been friends since I was 7, 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I'm 23 now. That's a long time. You know what I'm saying? So you go to war with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Day in and day out, practices, games, then personal life. Life outside of basketball. You go through some things. Your friends there. Your boys there. Yeah. So that kind of just makes it that much crazy because I'll run through a wall for any of them guys, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So when you got that kind of bond and you kind of got that, as we alluded to earlier, that iron sharpens iron, it kind of just helps for the rest of life because it's I know I always got somebody else back and I know they always got my back. And it kind of I can't fail because if I fail, I'm letting them down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of just got that mentality. So you kind of just push forward no matter what.
Yeah, that's tough. I think that's what it's all about. I feel having that kind of accountability, though, that group that I always find, especially when guys have that group that they can rely on, or just kind of those close friends that just help you get through things. But you brought up personal life, and this is kind of the thing we were joking about before the episode. You got basketball, you got school, there's sleep. And the social life. So out of all of those things, how was your social life doing, during your times of high school, college, were you able to get out, go out, because I know that's a tough balance. I want to go out, but damn, I ain't get 8 hours. I don't even barely get 6 hours no more sleep.
I had morning practice, school all day, night practice, live. I ain't trying to go to no party. You know what I'm saying? So
it's different.
Man, high school, I don't know what social life was in high school for real. Every day was even after the season, we got open gym.
Yeah.
A week or 2 after the season, so we in the gym, we lifting, you know what I'm saying? We getting right all year round for high school. You were too tired to do anything for real. You just gotta hope on the weekend. You got an early morning practice. You got Saturday. Now you can say you hang with your boys now. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you want to do.
Gotcha.
We even practice on Sundays, bro.
Yep.
Sunday we practicing.
And even when y'all chilling, I'm sure they getting like we literally chilling. We watching the game. Like we're sitting, we tired as hell. We laying down, so we just chilling, bro. We are just chilling, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure.
And then by the time I was a senior in college, I had finished my degree already.
Oh
So because I finished my degree already, I was taking all online classes.
Oh man.
So I wake up, I ain't got class right now. I go eat.
Gym,
Living the
some
life.
shots up.
Go back to the room, cooling, practice.
Living the life scene.
So how was that? Because you almost go all your life one way with this structure, and it's you know military style discipline way where you're sticking to a strict schedule, and then it's just one day it's just I'm on.
Word up. So I think because of that early structure, I didn't lose my mind once I got some freedom. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, you get some freedom. It's like, oh, I can do whatever I want now. I don't got my parents in this era right here.
Yeah.
Nah, a lot of people lose their mind, but I think because of that early structure, I kind of just had some freedom. I was like, all right, cool. How can I constructively use this time?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? How, like, I played a lot of games. Like, how can I get my body right for the next day? Not even next week, the next day. One day at a time.
You played
treatment.
You played more than a lot of games, man. You got the most career games, bro. This guy has the most career games played in school history.
Yeah.
School history. That's nuts. I don't think people realize how durable you have to be.
Yeah.
Excuse me for my French, but it's just that's so crazy. 125 consecutive.
Like, bro, I remember coming off games my senior, the 1 year I played, I should say, I guess my technically senior season, whatever, freshman and senior year. Bro, I remember coming off a game, man, bro. We used to have practice the next day, and I just be sitting there warming up, and I just be like, damn. Especially that first game I played, my first couple games, the day after we had practice, I'd be like, damn, bro, how am I gonna get through this right now? Like, but it's definitely a mental war. It's a mental war. You just got to get yourself over that mental hurdle, man, for sure, man.
So my freshman year, DeMond Lynn, school's all-time leading scorer, he got hurt. He ruptured his Achilles.
Oh, man.
Mid-game, bro, I'm looking at him, and he just, like, stopped. I'm confused. Like, he just caught the ball up. I'm stuck between, like, helping him get back on defense. Yeah. So I'm confused. So he ruptured his Achilles, he goes down. So now I go from playing, like, 20, 25 minutes to playing the whole game.
Them 38, 39 minutes.
Exactly. Like, those some big shoes to fill, you know what I'm saying? Like, he the all-time leading scorer at the school for a reason. So now I got to increase scoring input.
You got to do almost what he did.
Exactly. And just try to mimic it, like, you know what I'm saying? First year in, but that kind of started it where I was like, I started realizing I got to take better care of my body. Because I'm cramped. I've never caught a cramp a day in my life. I start cramping. I said, wow.
This don't feel good.
I see what everybody's talking about. I thought that was a myth. Like, cramps and stuff. I caught my first cramp in game. I'm like, oh, like this real. This is a thing.
And I hate cramps because you be scared to do anything else after. Like you're just so scared that I would cramp again. Like,
and it's like it's crazy because some of them you feel before it happens. So you're like, oh no, I gotta chill. I gotta relax a little bit.
That little warning cramp. Like, I can't really jump like that no more. But just what did you learn that year, kind of filling those shoes, and what did you take to your senior year when it was kind of your turn to really run the show? Yeah, so man, I just learned about the responsibility of basketball, and I started looking at basketball completely different than I had already looked at it. You know, playing for Coach Hurley. Wow. So I was like, I had to take it another step mentally. So watching games, watching dudes, how dudes. Because the thing is, we're humans, we're creatures of habits. So everybody got a certain habit. So even the way I watched film is just different. Like, all right, when this dude go right, he gonna pull up. He ain't looking to get all the way to the basket. You know what I'm saying? He go left, he gonna shoot a step back. So I kind of took that kind of mentality into it, and like I would guard guards. Like I played against a lot of dudes for real.
Shot strap. Shot was defending for real.
Yeah, Division I ball. I bet every single guard you played against was for real.
Was the man in their high school. They were the man.
They could go to any park they want. All the dudes you probably had to strap up, and they can get crazy. You know what I'm saying? But
my senior high school, we played Malik Monk My dude like 6'5".
We both
Bouncy.
Yo,
Bouncy.
Demon in high school.
Like 40-inch
He was averaging
vertical.
40 at the time.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. He was averaging 40 at the time.
Bouncy.
So like we playing, we saying we going to scout for it. Coach, you're like, yeah, Shy, you got him.
Mm.
So in my mind, like I'm guarding some dude at 6'5".
He said, "Wait, coach,
Like,
I got him."
He said, we got Jacob on the team. Like, why that's not his match? Like,
I know he can do that.
whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? We go play, and I'm guarding him all game, 94 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He got like 9 points,
Ooh.
with like 4, I want to say like 4 minutes left in the game.
Damn.
We finished with 20 though.
Mm.
Most exciting spin I ever
What
seen.
the? Nah, yo.
It was different. I ain't gonna lie. The game was over. Like we up convincingly. Like
Wow.
I was on the bench. Yo, I never seen somebody go so crazy in such a short amount of time. Like,
He had that ability.
Yo.
I remember watching him in Kentucky because I'm a big Kentucky basketball fan. So I remember watching him, and he could just go off on some runs. So we could talk about that when he gave North Carolina 40 something and was giving it to his boys.
Yeah.
But he can get hot all of a sudden. But yeah, I mean that's. But you to hold him to 9 points. I mean, fuck it. You get the if you hold the 9 points, you get a couple buckets down the garbage stretch. Whatever, cool. You had
He
your
was
stat
smart
line
in
looking
though,
cool.
right? You said you had the bench on, right? I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
he wasn't. So he
Yeah,
gets all the
yeah.
Kids too, like, hey, you know, he's an NBA right now. And I would put him in his. I would strap him up.
And that's one thing I hate because sometimes I think people look at the stat line at the end of the game and aren't looking at the game. What I mean by that is, you know, I could be guarding. I've had this experience too. I could be guarding someone for almost the whole game. He got 5 points or whatever, and then all of a sudden somebody else will guard him, and then he go off for like 15 right there, and then now his stat line looking good, and now you look, since that was your main assignment, now all of a sudden you look like you got torched. Nah, it wasn't like that. I was strapping him the whole time. He got off on somebody else. You weren't watching the game. Pay attention, because you weren't paying attention to the game clearly.
Nah, there was one dude who really got in college, bro. Matt Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up playing for the Raptors G League team, bro. Like, I couldn't figure him out. And the thing was, it wasn't like he wasn't scoring on me. I'm like, I got the ball, ISO. Like, all of it was off the ball.
Like running off screens and stuff,
bro. Handoffs, back doors. Like,
I hate those. Yeah.
I'm like,
Coach
bro,
running
like,
off some
are you
plays.
serious? I'm mad. I'm like, bro, like dribble. Like, let me guard it, bro. He running up handoffs, and the way we was guarding, like the way we guard handoff, we go under the handoff. So he's shooting behind the handoff.
Oh. That's probably the most annoying thing ever.
Yo, he's shooting behind the handoff. Then I'm like, man, I gotta play the handoff. Now he going back door. I'm like, yo, this dude's annoying. Bro. Then he faking the back door and coming to get the handoff. So if I bite on the back door, he get the handoff. I'm already stepping a half behind. It's too late.
Yeah.
They've been running that offense for him for a while.
yeah.
You could tell he was real acclimated into doing that.
Take that experience. Can you imagine, like, guarding a Steph? We was talking about Steph
yeah.
Curry, where now when he do put it on the ground, he
Yeah.
can dribble that shit
Oh,
too.
I can't even imagine that. Steph annoying too. He just be running around.
Right.
And be like happy though.
Yo.
Dre over here setting some hard ass screens for him. And that's the thing. Draymond don't look to score. He's looking to feed Steph. Like he's literally looking to get him open. Like that's Draymond goes in the game and says, "How can I get Steph Curry open shots?"
Draymond, that old head in the men's league, just want to win. He just
just want to win.
So get Steph the ball, and Steph gonna do what he got to do.
Making a lot of money to win.
Real quick, Sean. So I know you. So is that your like welcome to college ball moment? Would that matchup be, or did you have something else that was like, all right, I'm here, like I'm in D1 basketball?
So my freshman year, a dude named Dallas Moore.
Mhm.
He went to North Florida.
Mm.
He's overseas now. He get paid.
Mm.
Bruh, he's like, I want to say like 5'10", 5'11", lefty. Bruh. So before the game, I don't even know who he is before the game. But my coach, he was saying he and his guy report talking him up. He like, dude could beat us by himself.
Oh,
Like he's an NBA level talent. Dude could beat us by himself.
God.
I'm like, all right. What you talking about? I play defense. Right? So first half, dude has like 6 points. 4 points. I'm like, all right, I'm doing my job.
Mhm.
I'm like, all right, we got this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Second half, bro, I never seen anything like it, bro. Like, we was up like 20 something, bro. And like that last one or two media timeouts, like the last media timeouts, bro, went off for like 24, 25.
Oh, man.
In that short amount of time. Like,
Whoa.
it had to be like 5-6 minutes, bro. And
damn.
I never seen anything like it. All of his teammates just ran to the corner.
And just so it was like ISO, like just or
They run to the corner and have one dude like come up and
Come up
set
and set that screen.
or set like a ghost screen and escape it.
Like a 1-4 high type.
Yeah. So what we were doing, we would switch to 1 and 4.
Oh.
So then he get that matchup. He's shooting step back threes. I'm talking about deep, like he'll fake the step back three coming. His touch around the rim, like it put you in the mindset of y'all ever watch Mike James play?
Yeah.
Throw all the floaters up like that. Like he doing that, like. But everything auto. I'm like, oh, like it got fake real quick. Like game went from like 20-point blowout, like easy win to we in a dog fight.
Oh man.
But damn.
Like he single-handedly did that. Like his teammates all knew. They knew what they was doing.
They bought in. They know the system. They bought in.
So that was my freshman year. That was my.
At least you know scouting reports are legit. Probably after that.
I'm like, he the real deal for real.
Oh, that's crazy.
I gotta be curious now. Y'all got any little welcome to the college moments?
I got college moments.
I got one. Shit.
Personally, I'd just say, you know, I knew I was in college basketball when my freshman year before I ended up quitting the team. And we would run open gym. Mm-hmm. And you know Tyler O'Fray and them and Mark and stuff like that. And we'd be in open gym and stuff like that. And this is obviously, you know, I'm fresh into this. They've been there for a little bit. You know, Tyler been starting. And they're going back and forth. They're getting heated debate. You know, Tyler's coming down, hitting some stuff like I ain't really never had to play before. Like I played obviously Division I players and stuff like that, but this guy's been in college now. He's a little bit breaded. He know what he's doing. So I would say guarding Tyler O'Fray in open gym to start. I think that was my he was just it was something I hadn't really experienced yet in my time yet. So
Tyler was a dude too.
Tyler could hoop.
Yeah, Division I talent for real.
Yeah, he's the most annoying like open gym hooper.
Oh my God! You want to talk about an open gym assassin?
We used to call him D3 Kyrie. Like you really think he Kai out there shifting everybody, moving, getting buckets, but Ty, you got a little.
Yeah, so this is a funny one. So y'all know, so my freshman year, I didn't really like get that much burn in the beginning because we brought in like 8 freshmen, I think, and so like. We had like 3 people end up quitting, and then Tyler got hurt, and so it was pretty much the next man up. To your point, and I remember I think it was the NJCU. I think it was like one of the first like games where I was getting a lot of like minutes. I got in like 2 minutes into it. I'm gassed. Like I'm like, I used to play the whole game. I don't know the whole game in high school. It was just 2 minutes. It just felt different. Like that tempo and everything. I remember. I think I only played like 5 or 6 minutes in that stretch, but when I came out, like the first 2 minutes I was tired. After I came out 6 minutes, like hella time out, like I'm looking for water, like I'm like, yo, I ain't never been this tired, and like that was like, yo, the actual transition and pace of college is just so much different.
Court size.
Like court size is bigger, like people are running up and down, like you do that in high school, but it's just. There's a lot more half court, I think, that happens in high school. And then you got the shot clock. Yeah, so shot clock also pushes the tempo up a little bit. And so I was like, the tempo in the field is just different. I was like, and we had to do a lot of running. So, I mean, I ended up getting my tempo or like my conditioning up like throughout the year, but that caught me off guard for sure.
And I feel like just to add on to your point, it's like college is like a business. You know what I'm saying? Like with high school, say on a varsity team, I mean, granted, it might not be too often, but you might have a couple guys on the end of the bench. They're just kind of there because they kind of like playing basketball. They might be into other things, but in college, everybody's bought in and has that one goal. So, you know, if you're slipping or whatever, you know, everything is just intense. Everybody is about their business. Like my moment was we had a summer basketball camp. So, you know, I'm 17 at the time. I'm trying to get brownie points with the coach. So I'm going to pull up to this summer camp, get early workouts, and kind of get my name, name etched in, you know, kind of insert myself. So, mind you, I'm the only freshman pulling up. I'm 17. That's O'Fray there. We had Jordan McDaniels. I don't know if you remember him. He played pro. We had Nadir Alston. He played pro for a little bit. And it was only like 3-4 dudes. So there's no hiding. It's like one-on-one drills. So I'm going on these pros. Mind you, I'm like 160 pounds, soaking wet. It was tough. 6 o'clock in the morning, not fun. Waking up at like 5 just to know you better get your ass buzzed. That's it's not fun. It's not fun.
You know where they didn't have those 9th, 10th guys that didn't play at? St. Anthony's. Those guys were collegiate players still too. That shit was crazy, man. It was crazy.
This episode is sponsored and brought to you by The Villa. The Villa is a sneaker, streetwear, and vintage clothing store brand located in Ridgewood, New Jersey. The Villa carries the most exclusive, sought-after sneakers on the market, from Jordans, Dunks, V-Lone, Essentials, and so much more. The Villa provides the hottest items at the best prices. Whether you're from America or across the world, the Villa ships worldwide, giving people from all over the chance to get their hands on the most popular brands and fashion items. The Villa gets new inventory every day, so don't miss out. Follow them on Instagram at Buy the Villa. That's BUY the Villa, and check out their website at www.buythevilla.com and order from wherever in the world. The link will be in the description for you guys to go check them out.
You like sneakers, Sean?
Oh, yeah.
You into big sneakers? You gotta go check out my boy Charlie shop. Buy the Villa over in Ridgewood. There's a little bit of a hype though for you down the hillside. It definitely is a hype, but he does ship. He does have a lot of shipping. Though.
It's worth the trip too, you know. I'll work with you on the price, and
cool dude.
Cool stuff.
Good.
So, kind of going into, like, we want to take this now. We got a lot of background. We got the St. Anne's, NJIT, chopped up a lot of basketball. One thing we love about this podcast is figuring out kind of how we use that athlete mindset, that work ethic for you. Really smart, kind of. We want to start by talking a little bit about the foundation you're a VP in. What is the mission? What are you guys trying to do? I know you guys are trying to help the kids, which I'm always for. What's going on for a fight against the odds?
So, Fight Against the Odds started back in 2019. So, it's crazy because how it started. Well, not how it started, but what led into it. My 8-year-old cousin was killed.
Oh,
wow.
Sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that. Thank you. So he was killed, and then we realized like there may be other kids in similar situations or predicaments where they may need something outside of home.
Yeah.
So our goal was kind of to just get this foundation together and try to impact as many young lives that we possibly could.
Yep.
So we have events where we have like a field day where kids can just be a kid. You don't have to worry about anything else for a day. You can just be a kid, go play with other kids, run around, be in a bouncy house, get your face painted, paint yourself, whatever, run some water. Every year we do a book bag drive, school supplies, all that stuff. We're doing a toy drive right now, actually. So we're trying to change some kids' lives for Christmas. Every kid don't get Christmas.
Send that link. We definitely want to push that on our social media too.
Yeah, is there? I mean, you can shout it out too. For some of our followers, is there any way like they can, I guess, donate and any type of maybe supplies they may have or toys like you mentioned? Is there a way that we can kind of push that out for you?
Yes, indeed. So Instagram that name, AFTO Foundation. That's on Instagram at AFTO Foundation.
Make sure to check that out.
Yeah, so that page, you got the link in our bio. You can donate however you want to donate. But yeah, so you know what I'm saying? We just want to try to make that impact to as many people as we can. Because if you can change one person's life, then we've done something good.
Right.
Yep. For sure.
Absolutely.
Love that. Love what's going on there. And talk to me a little bit kind of what you're doing now. I know you're accountant at Connect One Bank. Is that something that, first of all, how did you get into that? Were you always, I know you think you were a business administration major. Did you know you wanted to be like in accounting? Is that something that you want to stick in, or are you like kind of using that to like a step to get somewhere else?
Okay, so I got my degree in accounting actually.
Okay.
I was a business major with a concentration in accounting.
Yep.
So it kind of just planned out. I did an internship with the bank while I was at school for like 2 summers.
Mm-hmm.
So I really got used to the bank, used to the people there. So then after college, I took a few months off, of course, because hoping for 4 years. Like I never really got time to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, COVID had hit just at that time too, so kind of just was the perfect situation to just have some time to myself, my family, and stuff like that. So then a year ago in November 2nd, I got hired full time, and my boss I told him straight up, I'm looking at the systems and stuff, I don't understand how this stuff works.
Right.
I was 100% honest.
Mm-hmm.
So he would literally sit with me for an hour, 2 hours, going over everything, just to make, he wouldn't leave me alone until he felt comfortable that I knew what I was doing. So it was kind of like I had a professor all over again. I was back in school. But he was a professor that actually cared, because, a lot of professors don't care. They just collecting their paycheck and going about their business.
Yeah.
Word up. So he would take the time out, show me what I'm doing. He's talking a lot.
So,
and because Connect One Bank isn't like a Chase or Wells Fargo, it's not like I'm going there every day just doing one thing every day.
Gotcha. It's dynamic. You get to do a lot of
exactly. I can do a lot of different things. So I'm learning more, not even just about accounting, but just about how the world works financially.
Right.
Being around a lot of high level people, it just changes your view of what's going on in the financial world.
Right. I want to circle back to something that you said earlier too. So you said that when I guess the pandemic, this makes things a little bit different. But I want to talk about your experience after you graduate. What was that like? Because you've been playing basketball your whole life now, and then all of a sudden it's not there anymore. I know we've all kind of went through that transition too. I think that's how the podcast really got started. We graduated. It's like, okay, what's next? Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about that period in between before you started your job and once you graduated. What was that like? And was it a tough transition? What were you doing? Did you find it tough to find things to do or whatever? Tell me what that was like.
So it's crazy because once the word about COVID started spreading, this was before the schools even started closing down.
Mm-hmm.
I was out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My basketball season was over. Yeah. I didn't have class. I didn't physically have classes.
Yeah.
So I patted myself home at home. That was 2-3 weeks before word started getting out. The schools were closing. Mm-hmm. So I was home early. I'm like, I'm out. I can't. I'm not playing basketball no more. School out.
Yeah.
So I went back home. And of course, I'm still sitting there thinking, is this really the last time that I'm ever going to play basketball, competitively, at this kind of level? So of course I thought about going pro. Every basketball player, that's your dream when you're a kid and you start playing basketball. I want to be a professional basketball player. I want to get paid to do the thing that I love. So I thought about it. So then I reached out to a couple agents, talking about some countries and stuff. When I started hearing about how much they was making during the pandemic, I said, "Oh no.
It's not even worth it."
It's not even worth it. I think my best offer was $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so I'm in a foreign country during the pandemic. Nobody else around me. Nobody. Not gonna be able to go outside because we in a pandemic. I'm be in the room by myself all the time, getting paid $2,000 a month.
Wasn't that tough a decision? After that,
I'm hang it up.
It's time to hang it up.
So at that point, I just started trying to just enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy my family, enjoy time with my girl, and just enjoy my own having time to myself. Mm-hmm. So I never really had that even before high school. High school, I didn't really have time to myself. College, I didn't really have time to myself. Even as a kid, you're a kid, but you're limited to what you can do. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you practice. It's class. Go to school. Go home. Play the video game a little bit. Hey, you practice. You're a kid. That's what it was. So now, as an adult, I really don't have those kind of obligations anymore. Mm-hmm. So for that period of time, I was just just having fun, just enjoying myself. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of athletes struggle with that too. I mean, you go from having such a structured life. Your whole entire life is structured. It's put out there on a schedule for you, and then all of a sudden, it's you got all this time to do what you want now. You got all this time on your hands. What are you going to do with that time? Especially when you're older too, there's nobody there to hold your hand anymore. So that transition period can really make or break you. I mean, if you could easily turn down the wrong path, and I think that's where a lot of mental health issues comes into play when things are such just an instant change all of a sudden. 100%. But I don't know for you guys how that transition may have been. I know Ty, I feel like your transition was pretty nice. But if you guys want to talk a little bit about your transitions too, just going from an athlete to now everyday student or everyday work environment.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was thinking about, and that's kind of why I love Shy's work, a fight against the odds, because I feel when you're younger, you don't really get a lot of career, you are really conditioned basketball, and you kind of almost have tunnel vision on professional basketball. That's what I want to do. That's the end goal. And so I feel if there was more ways that we could create, at least some acknowledgement of these are the careers out there. If basketball doesn't work, having that second option. And so for me, I was always proactive in that sense too. To that point, I came into college already. I mean, I knew I was already going D3 too, and I never really had the aspiration of once I was going D3, I was I'm not going overseas. It's not worth my time. And so I already was thinking about what's the next step. I like business, so what could I do in there? So that's how I got into finance and investing. But it really starts by just knowing what life after basketball is, and if we could get that into the youth a little bit sooner, be great at basketball, but if it doesn't work out, this is kind of the backup plan. I've always been a big fan of that.
100%. Just to even build on your point, just showing them there's more role models than just the sports players, showing the kids that they can be the doctors, they can be the lawyers, they can be nurses, whatever they want to be. They don't have their success is not based on their athletic ability, if that makes sense. I feel like we kind of have, especially with like the black community, kind of have that a lot with like these younger black boys. They're basing their talents on what they could do athletically and not really with their mind. But I know for me personally, I played the game of basketball, obviously because I loved it, but I always wanted to just get into a really good school. I never was, obviously once you go in D3, the NBA is kind of really out the way. So overseas wasn't really a goal of mine because, like you said, you're kind of away from home, different situations. You don't get paid the most amount of money. I even heard some stories where, Mont was telling me one of his friends had like a bad game or something, and they just left him there. They were like, all right, they would just cut you off. So I knew, basketball wasn't going to be that goal. So just realizing, what I'm telling them, especially with like public administration, doing events, coordinating, I kind of just fell in love with that after realizing, basketball not going to be the end goal. And I wish we get that to the more of these younger kids, that they can be these other things. They don't just have to be this one thing.
Right.
Right.
So, all right. Well, I guess we'll finish it up here with our famous start cut bench.
We gotta go.
We got it. I'm sure you're familiar with the kind of start cut bench format.
The Jersey edition.
Yeah, Jersey edition. So we're gonna give you 3 players. And out of those 3 players, you gotta pick which one you want to start, cut, or bench. Ty, do you have the 3 players for them?
Yes. Let's start with so we're gonna do 1 guards and 1 bigs. So let's start with the bigs. I think the guards is going to be a little fun. It's going to get real interesting. Actually, I'm gonna let El do the guards. But for the bigs, we got Nick Richards, Kentucky player from D-Lo, also went to the Patrick schools. St. Pat's. Chris Silva, another beast that went to Roselle. He was with Briscoe.
He was in South. Was he in South Carolina? He was at South Carolina. He was on a team that made that deep run to the Final Four. I remember that.
He was on Miami for a little bit.
Okay, he was on Miami.
And we have the NBA League himself, Nazi Reed, aka Big Jelly. So I guess I'll get it started. This is a tough one. I'm gonna start Chris. I'm gonna start Chris Silva. I'm a bench Nazi Reed, Big Jelly, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut Nick Richards as hard as that is, but I'm just thinking like what the modern big is, and I'm a little biased to like the modern big. I feel like Nick Richards is a little bit more of a traditional big, so I'm going that route. Let you go next, D-Lo.
Well, if we're talking modern basketball, like you said, give me Big Jelly. Give me Big Jelly then. Big man with the guard skills. They Big Jelly for a reason. So I'll take Nazi Reed. I'll go Chris Silva then next. I'll bench Chris Silva. I thought his motor was insane. And just seeing his transition at South Carolina was, he was a big part of that team. He did a lot for them to get deep. And then I'll probably cut Nick Richards as well, even though I got my shot blocked by him plenty of times trying to go up in there for no reason. No jump shot in high school. I'm trying to get to the cup on these big-ass motherfuckers playing in St. Pat. He's just stuffing my shit every time, going in the trees. So I'm gonna go that route.
So I'm gonna steal your blueprint a little bit. Gotta go Big Jelly. Just because he's a half big, half guard. Need that. Chris Silva, I'll bench him. Got the good motor. He's very athletic. And then just cut Nick because obviously I can't talk down. He's Division I hooper and he's in the league. But just with those other 2 bigs, I just like him a little bit better than Nick.
Hey, I'll take all of them on my high school team. What you got, Sean? Let's see.
Showing me love the Knicks. Sean, what's up?
Start Nas.
Big Jelly.
He got a good skill set too. Benching Chris Silva. I lost to Silva for years. He was the reason I don't got 3 state championships right now. So I'm a bench Chris Silva and I got to cut Nick.
Got it. Guards.
Plus he was a rival to St. Pat's.
St. Pat's. Hey, Daniel, nobody over at St. Pat's. Feel that.
Now we have the Jersey guards. So we're staying in high school. We're staying in only the high school era. We have Briscoe in his high school run.
Must see TV.
Must see TV. We have Kyle Reed. Must see TV as well. He was the must see TV before the must see TV.
Yeah.
And then we got slow mo, Mr. Kyle Anderson. And for those who might not know, don't think
that's tough.
If I had Kyle Anderson, don't sleep on him. Don't sleep. For those who may not know, he was a dog in high school. He was a
Jersey
dog. He
He's like
deserved to be
6'9".
6'9"
Point
PG.
guard.
He deserved to be in that 3. So kick it off to you guys.
Woo! Let Shy start this one off. I got to think. Yeah,
I was gonna say I'll start. I'll start it off just because I got a lot of love, and Landon kind of knows this from my guy Zay. Like his pops and my pops used to go back. Like I tell y'all, like Westside Park, like in the community center, like I used to go in there and get a chance to run with him. But like rest in peace to his father, by the way. Like he did great things for the community. But
100%.
I'm biased because I always like I love Briscoe game, and I just feel like and he still get buckets. Like he still be getting to a bucket. So I'm starting Briscoe. A little bit of a biased view. That's definitely my guy. I'm definitely benching Kyrie. I think Landon's older brother actually has a pretty interesting.
You got
Kyrie.
stories on Kyle and Kyrie.
Yeah,
Yeah, did you see both of them?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
When he was playing Kyrie, the best defender, bro, that day he had a stomachache, bro.
Oh, guess
Get
who's next? Well, I know you're up. You're up.
That's how nice Kyrie was. Dudes are saying, nah, I ain't playing. I got a stomachache today.
Yeah, but benching Kyrie. And unfortunately, I know St. Anthony's a CR family. I got to cut slow-mo, even though I didn't even touch on this. I did have a nickname at Faces. Shy noticed. They used to call me Turtle. Because I was mad slow. And I'm like, if only I could have been Turtle and had his game, that would have been ideal. Or be Turtle and have 6. That would be perfect too. But that's my lineup.
Man, this is... I feel bad for even cutting anybody, like especially the high school edition.
For the jersey.
Right. I guess I'm gonna have to go start Kyrie. I didn't get to see him much when his high school days. Like I don't really remember much of his high school days, but from what I heard and what I could see, like bro, I think he had a rack in both schools. I think he went Montclair. Was it Montclair? Kimberly Academy. He ended up having a rack there, and then transferred into St. Pat's and had a rack there. You can have a rack in 2 different schools.
Briscoe had two
Yeah, he had a 2-pack too. Yeah, they both had 2-packs. Damn, I think Kyrie's buzz when St. Pat's was really, really on the map then when Kyrie was around. So I'm gonna have to start Kyrie. Man, I can't cut Isaiah Briscoe because this was my high school era. Like, I had dudes on my high school team. Like, we come into practice every day talking about this man. Mind you, this is other Division I players at the time. Like, at this time, like, I'm playing with Tyson Etienne over at Wichita. Yeah. You know, I'm playing with Taj Benning over at Fairfield. And we're coming into practice every day, hyping this man Briscoe up. Like, yo, Briscoe this, Briscoe that, bro. Talking about, Tyson used to be sitting there watching his mixtapes before practice every day. Yeah, he was a culture changer, especially for the class of 2016. So I'm gonna have to bench Isaiah, and damn, it's sad to say I gotta cut Kyle Anderson, which don't even sound like it makes sense. But I'm gonna go off that just because I didn't really experience much of the Kyle Anderson effect. I didn't get to see much of him.
So, man, I'm starting Kyle Anderson, bro. Call me. I like the 6'9". Mm-hmm. I like. And, you know, this the one time I saw him play, I was like in 7th grade. I don't know why. I was just amazed. Like, yo, nobody can block this dude. He's slower than him. Like, at 7th grade, I felt like I was faster than him. But can't steal the ball. Nothing. You just had to, it felt like everybody just had to sit there and just watch. Right. Watch what he did. I don't even want to cut. I don't even want to cut either Briscoe or Kyrie. I'll probably bench Briscoe because his culture impact. I mean, he was we'll call him a lunchroom legend. I mean, every day I had
we the football players.
Yamir, I had endless arguments every day with Yamir. You know, and then sorry, but I didn't really get to see Kyrie, even though Kyrie is phenomenal talent. I just didn't get to see it, so cut Kyrie.
Let's hear it. Spotlight is on.
We talking about high school.
We talking high school.
I gotta start KA.
Mm-hmm. I knew he was going down round 2. You gotta stay close to home. I respect it.
Dude won 72 games in a row.
Yep, you're right about that.
2 years, he went back to back undefeated.
And you can speak on that because you know how tough it is to do that. So to do it back to back years,
that's what I'm saying. 2 years back to back undefeated, like
72.
That's tough.
Yeah, that was the NBA season after the bubble.
He got a natty, 2 state championships, 2 undefeated seasons back to back. Like, that's a lot for real.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I love the Briscoe 2 years in a row, bro.
You can't do it. All right. Look, I respect it too, because if anybody on this list was someone that I played against and that I had a person like that personally, knocked me out or gave me some losses, I feel some type of way putting them over.
Bringing back some memories, right?
Dude, man, it hurts a lot. Dude could go though, man. He could really go. I gotta bench Kai, man.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie.
Yeah.
I feel like Briscoe's game is kind of predicated off of Kai. Like, you know how you had the Kobe and the Jordan.
Yeah.
Kobe kind of emulated his game off Jordan. Like, I feel like Briscoe kind of emulated some of his game from Kyrie a little bit. So I gotta go with the originator. I gotta go with Kai.
I feel that.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with it at all.
Yeah.
All three really get right to it. Especially in high
I
school.
mean, man, you think of Jersey legends, those are three names, you possibly even Mount Rushmore, honestly. Like, if you're talking just Jersey hoops, that could be, that's up for debate. We might have to have that conversation one day. Jersey Mount Rushmore hoopers, man. Thank you for coming on here, man.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it. El, I know you want to kind of recap it off. You can take it from here, finish it up.
Once again, it's been another great episode, Shy. I can't thank you enough pulling up, just telling your story, telling the same stories, because I always wonder just behind the scenes, like what went on, how was Hurley, just how was dealing with that, how was winning, we never won. Shit. But, definitely fun talking with you. We talked good hoops, gave good game. Everybody listening, you see the t-shirts, merch is on the way. D-Lo's with me today. We got a top when the merch comes, we definitely got you.
Hopefully next episode we wearing a couple new pieces. We'll see how
I finally get out this t-shirt so y'all can stop making fun of me. Follow us on social media on IG and TikTok at the.juicecrew. We have follow our YouTube page as well at the Juice Crew Podcast. And like I said, merch is on the way. Stay tuned. Anything else?
Check us out.
Anything that you
real
want to
quick,
shout out?
I just want to add on real quick. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts as well. Just search up the Juice Crew Podcast.
You got my back.
Yes, sir. Of course, I got you. But yeah, Shy, anything else you want to add on?
Appreciate y'all for having me through, man. It's real dope, man.
Sure, man. Hey, man, Shy, one of the coolest dudes out here, man.
Great dude.
Check out his foundation too. Again, I mean, you can shout out his Instagram and stuff like that. Go donate, whatever you have.
We'll put it in the bio too.
Yeah, we'll put it in the bio, man. We'll make sure to shout it out on the page and whatnot. But other than that, man, this episode is a wrap again.
Sir,
appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. And that's it. That's a wrap. We out. Peace.